Welcome back to another NQ Ninja video for January 14th, 2026. And today I want to go over my, pre-market post within YouTube. And then I want to go through just some of the numbers that I actually created on my prop firm accounts. And then I want to kind of cover some of the intraday setups. So as you're trading in Q, you can look for these things in the market as well to help you out. So first things first, let's kind of just look at the post for today. So I said this morning, pay attention to, so we were actually very top of this channel. We're at the top of the wedge where we actually went up. We completed this cup. This is called an inverse cup here. So we completed that, and that actually ended right on top of this daily wedge that you can see here. And so I said, if we're going to be strong, we're going to bounce off of that and then go up to the upside. The other option here was going to be not bounce off of that and actually maybe create some sort of handle here. Now, we didn't actually go all the way up. We didn't have enough strength to move up. But at open, we ended up just kind of pushing down back into this wedge. And then actually during the day, we broke below the bottom of the wedge as well. So I want to kind of show you that. But before I do, I just want to kind of go over my accounts. So this is one of my accounts. So this was actually today on an eval account. Now, I don't normally, I'm not looking to make, terribly a lot every day. I just want to make a little bit. So this was kind of the last 3 days on this particular account. Again, this is the eval account. I saw a setup today and I just took that, and that's the number. Again, I'm not looking for the numbers. I'm just looking for the setups. And then my actual funded account, so this is my real account. I just started this one, is the last 2 days, right? So today got around 400. Yesterday was 200. So just kind of, show the consistency of these numbers as we move along. Looking for that payout, which would be on Monday if I can continue what we're doing as of today. All right, so let me go ahead and switch over to the charts. So here we are. So this was the day for today. Okay, so I'm going to show you on the 5 minute. I really want to kind of break this down. Okay, so what do we see? So this morning around 9 o'clock, we were really sitting on top of this wedge. Okay, so we were creating support on this wedge, and it felt like it was really going to take something to kind of break through and come down again through the wedge, right? And you can see at 9:30, we really got that move. You can see we actually moved all the way down to here. And then we pushed up, okay? So pushed up off of that. I wanted to see kind of what the next candle was due. Well, the next candle did break above the previous candle. So we did break up, but then we just broke down, okay? So nothing there for me to want to play, giving me mixed signals in that we could potentially be strong and that we broke the previous candle. But at the same time, we're moving down right through this. And so we opened up this 940 candle, and you can see that we did move up a little bit to create this top tail. You see it right here. But we ultimately broke the previous bottom and continued down. And so what I was looking for, I actually did have this zone that you see here. I did have that on the charts at the moment when this was happening. So we moved down to this area, and then we created what's called a 3-bar play. So this right here, I want to show you this. This is a 3-bar play. I talk about this sometimes. So we make a move that's one color. We then move back up in the opposite color. It almost creates like this barcode, right? And then we come down and back in the other color, right? And so on the smaller time frame, this is nothing more than a flag. So this would be an actual bear flag on the lower time frame. So let me see if I can capture that for you. And so if I kind of zoom in here, that would be right here. So this is what we were talking about. So here's the red, here's the green, and there's the red, right? So if this doesn't make sense to you, a bear flag is when we make a move. We then have a controlled move in the opposite direction. We're just building liquidity. And then we actually go back in the direction that we were going. So that's kind of what we did here. Now, this would be a potential setup you could take to the downside off of this. Again, I'm being very, very careful. It's 9:50. I'm always aware of the time and the day. So I know that there's certain times of the day that there's more manipulation than other times, right? So if I'm looking from 9:30 to 10, a lot of volume, a lot of manipulations going on in that time. So I want to be very careful in how I take my trades. And so this is a good setup right here to the downside. And that's what we got here, right? So now we're starting to kind of see, okay, this is kind of our setup on the day, right? So this is going to be kind of our channel. So if we get this again, that might be actually a nice play. So what you could do is you could copy this. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this and then paste. And then as you start to see things build, you will start to see that they actually match pretty well. So here's another one. This matched, and this actually moved up right here. There's several setups here I could talk through, but I'm just kind of showing you these angles. They're all very similar, right? This is the same, although it's more condensed. Okay, so you could have this, allow this to set up to happen. It's just slightly different here, something like this. Okay. Click on this. All right. So let's kind of move on to this right here, right? So we're still in the 2 minute. We have this move back up to the supply zone. Then we break down. Again, you got to be patient on these moves. You can't just jump in. Okay. So this one early, when we moved down and then we had a move up, you have to have multiple pieces of confluence to take these plays, right? I'm not just jumping in because I'm thinking it's going to do something. You know, a good place to maybe take this to the upside would be in a demand zone, right? Right here, and take this up. Now, is that the best play? Probably not the best play, just because we've been heavily moving down. I know what time it is. It's probably not the best play, right? So you don't have to take that play, right? You're never going to miss a play in the market because there's always another move that's about to happen. So make sure that's something that you kind of keep in the back of your mind. You never miss a move because there's always a move that's after that move. All right. So let's kind of talk through another setup that we might see here, right? So we did have a cut play out here. You can see that. And again, I'm on the 2 minute right here, right? We see this on the daily. We see this on the hourly, the 30 minute. Every time frame has these setups that happen. So let's continue to just kind of look at this 2 minutes. So here we create this move back up, and then we break this, right? So we open below this channel, and then it just moves down here, okay? So my next level down here is this zone down here. Now, if I go back to what I talked about in my post today, I did mention, I said, you know, if we break this trend line, look for retest and then take down to zones. So at that point, you're just taking it down to the different zones at that point, right? So that's kind of what we saw here. Let's go ahead and look at the 5 minute one more time, and I'll show you one other thing on the day, and then we'll call it a day. Now, I am looking at maybe going live on Friday, so if you're interested in that, let me know. But look at the day. So this day, we broke down, but then look what we're doing. We found support, and if we don't go lower, we're going to go higher. And at this point, we're creating this cup. Now, we ran out of runway for the day, right? We closed at 4, so we ran out of runway. But this could continue up to complete this all the way to the top of this wedge. So really interesting to see what we do here. You know, if I look back on the daily, you know, we really are, you know, we're kind of out of the structure now, but we're still kind of, you know, respecting this bottom of this wedge. So I'm wondering if today, I want to see what we do tomorrow. If we don't break the low of today in tomorrow's session, if let's just say we open up, you know, here, and then we come back up, we might have just been trying to build, you know, find some buyers in this area to have us move up. Now, I'm not saying that is the case, but if, you know, that is a possibility on today. So again, that was kind of today. We really kind of created that cup scenario. You will have days like that where we move down one way, we find kind of that bottom out support, and then we move back up in the opposite direction. So hope you like this video. Make sure you subscribe, like this video. I want to reach as many people as possible, and I hope to see you later.